This week's True Crime Tuesday, it has been more than 50 years since 7 young women and teens went missing in Clark County.
Now, a 9-part series, The Stolen Voices of Dole Valley, dives into the cases, and you can also peel back another layer of that conversation with a panel and listening event next Monday in Vancouver. So joining us now to talk about it, we have Murder in the Rain co-host Alicia Holland. You also have the host of The Stolen Voices of Dole Valley, Carolyn Osorio, here with us this morning. And we have a third guest joining us via Zoom from Los Angeles. We have the show's producer, Brandon Morgan. Good morning to all three of you. Thanks for being here this morning.
Good morning. Thank you so much for having us.
Yeah, and Brandon, thanks for zooming in from Los Angeles. Going to be great to get your thoughts here on that panel here in just a minute. I'm going to start with both you, though, first, Carolyn and Alicia. Just catch us up to speed on what this story is all about here in our own backyard.
Well, I'm a journalist from Seattle, and when I heard about the Warren Forest case, being here, growing up here my entire life, I just couldn't believe that I'd never heard of it. And but really what brought me to it was the victims and the survivors. And there's just so many layers to this case. Basically, he was a serial killer, a predator in the 70s, and he's been in jail for like 30 years, but there's so many unadjudicated cases that are attributed to him. And so the 9-part series really gives us the space to really go deep into these cases and really tell the stories and the ripple effect that it's had, his crimes have had on this community.
You talk about the Warren Forest. So what's the connection there between these cases and that space?
Warren Forest, in that he was a prolific serial killer that probably a lot of people don't even know.
Yeah.
She'd heard of him. But
I was shocked. Carolyn reached out, and I had heard the name. I remembered a few years ago. Oh, this man was caught with old DNA and new testing. And I listened to the 9-part series, and I could not believe that I was not aware at all about these cases, which is why Murder in the Rain covered it. We have an episode that's out today, part 1 of 2. Which is kind of a companion piece. It's basically the Cliff's Notes version. You start with Murder in the Rain to get a basic idea of this massive case, and then you move into Stolen Voices, where you can hear these amazing interviews and powerful stories of survival.
That's great. Well, and then if you're at home too, and you want to continue to dig into this conversation, you do have that listening event and panel coming up. That is Monday, December 8th. Brandon, that's where I want to bring you in with this panel that's happening at the AC Hotel in Vancouver. What are you hoping people can take away from being a part of this discussion?
Well, primarily we want to attract the true crime fans who think that they've heard it all. Working in the industry for as long as I've had, you think you know everything, and then here's this guy that no one's really heard of. And the main reason, or one of the reasons, is that he was active at the same time that Ted Bundy was in that area. So Bundy was attracting all of that attention and just kind of sucking up all of the media. And so this guy, Warren Forest, was able to do basically whatever he wanted. And Bundy was taking the heat for some of his crimes. And so he was able to just exist under the radar for such a long time, and just scratching the surface on the case, you'll be amazed. So you think you have your true crime bona fides, and you know the lay of the land. I bet you this is someone that you haven't heard about, and the extent of his crimes and the depravity of what he did to his victims. It'll strike a chord.
Yeah, I mean, it was certainly needed in me. I thought we were talking about the Warren Forest. I was like, I've never even heard of that space. So let's just get right into
very
it.
Northwest.
Yeah, right?
Yeah.
A familiar face to some coin viewers is your moderator, Dan Tilkin, who extensively covered some of these cases.
Oh my gosh. And he's a true hero with this case, the investigative reporting. I was so taken aback. I got to interview him. He invited me to his home and invited me to all of his documents to share, because that's the thing about a 50-year case. It's like, it's really hard to get documents. People are sharing them back and forth. But through his work with Star, whose sister went missing, they uncovered these remains that they thought were lost. And it's because of them that case, Martha Morrison's, was adjudicated in 2019, I think. Yeah, 2019. So anyway, it's really great to showcase him and the work that he did over so many years, and he will be moderating the panel. So we're very excited that he's going to be joining us.
He'll be great at it. You know, great journalist there, yeah, and knows, like you said, knows a lot of these cases inside and out there. Okay, this event is hosted by the local nonprofit, the National Women's Coalition Against Violence and Exploitation, NWCAVE, you know, as many people know them. Why is that connection important to you? We only have about a minute left, but I want to make sure we talk about that.
Well, Michelle Bart is, again, this story is about the horrible deeds that Warren Forrest did in the background. It's about the heroes, the survivors, people who have never given up, who have just the grit and determination to see these things through. And that is Michelle Bart from NWCAVE, and they're helping host this entire thing for the victims. There's going to be a vigil for Jamie. So it's really about spotlighting, you know, the people who have helped solve these cases.
I think that's great.
And not only that, I do want to add real quick that the real excitement is if you do listen to Stolen Voices and you come to the event, Paul Holes of Golden State Killer fame will be there, and they're going to be talking about incredible updates to the case.
Great. So go check that out. Brandon, thank you for your time. Thank you both for being here. I just want to make sure that we can push to this before we head to break. Again, that listening event and panel is Monday, December 8th at 6 p.m. at the AC Hotel in Vancouver. Get your tickets and info